This video was recorded live at ITExpo 2021 at the Miami Beach Convention Center.
Thank you. I have a confession. I was a geek. For all my professional career, I worked at Honeywell in marketing, but I was a geek. And what they said was, learn when to shut up. Give your presentation, don't make it too deep, whatever. So anyway, that kind of ties in with what David was talking about. Welcome. As we know, today we're going to talk about the government with your products and your services. I've been working with AstraCon, Asterisk World, ITExpo. I'm sure there's even the VA has what's called engagement, small business engagement. They've changed it to. The biggest problem we have is that we, as companies that either selling products and services or are selling just services or just products, we went through hell the last year and a half. And as they say, can I get an amen? You know what I mean. So what we're going to do today is you're going to find out who I am. I told you a little bit already. Who are you? What do you do? Why are you here? I know it's not sunny out, so that's one of the reasons why you're here. And for me, what are you going to learn? Why is it important? I'm going to give you some actual examples which are going to blow your mind. I guarantee it. And tell you how I can help. And the answer to your question before you ask it, the last slide will give you not just the slide deck, or any of you, if you've got your camera ready at the end, scan the QR code, you'll get all the handouts, and a lot of them I'm just going to talk about but not show because there's some bigger files. You'll understand what I mean when we get there. And of course the closing. My background, who am I? And we threw this presentation together on a Saturday and reviewed it on a Sunday, and I've been doing government contracts for over 35 years. I've been coined the edutainer, which is tough to say without getting in trouble. I am a professional speaker, and I have no idea how the hell that last one got in there. Let me explain. I'm the poorest philanthropist you will ever meet. I give more stuff away than I take in. When they say, you have your own company. Yes. I said, it's a nonprofit. And they said, what do you mean nonprofit? I said, well, started out as a profit. Next case. Anyway, it's all true. I've been around too long. I'll be 70 next month. And I've been working with mainly GSA and VA contracts. It doesn't apply here because nobody's doing medical supplies, I don't believe. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the ITExpo. But anyway, let's talk about you now. Where do you sell your products and services? Are you reselling product? I got a surprise for you if you are. Are you reselling your service? Are you selling your services to commercial, to government? And the kicker, how about state? Ponder that for a moment. And if so, what now? I smell smoke. Somebody's thinking. Here's the surprise I was telling you about. These are some of the companies, and actually one of them is here today exhibiting. Anybody look familiar on that list? Top left corner. Who owns VoIP Supply?
Is that Sangoma now?
You got it. And Sangoma's here too. And all the guys from Sangoma, who by the way is a client, are now at Clearly IP, and you know where that one's going to go. Do I have your attention? Well, now that we understand who VoIP Supply is, let's move on to the fun part. Now, this slide has 79 results. I'm not going to bore you with, forgive me, Dave, the geek data, okay? You understand that there's 69 more of them on that page. That's fine. And, by the way, that's in the handout so you can see the whole list. But here's one even better. I did a quick search on Sunday, this past Sunday, to put this together. This is what I found for what's called small business set-asides, and I only used one keyword, VoIP. I could have used phones, I could have used whatever else. But this is interesting, and by the way, this full report is in the handouts. This actually gives you the point of contact, name and email address, and look at the last updated. We're in what? The end of June now? That's less than a month. These were posted a month ago. A lot of them have been closed, but you've got voice over IP telephone system. One of them's replacing a Cisco system. I didn't expand it out for you, but you get the idea. But anyway, this is typical of what you can do if you want to get started expanding your revenue base into state, local, or federal. I'm going to focus on state right now, just so you understand how easy it is. We're in Florida, so obviously you're going to see an example. National Association of State Procurement Officials. I didn't even realize the darn thing existed until I did a video on my YouTube channel about state contracts and how to get them. So we decided, what the hell, let's have a little fun. So I said, well, this is great. I'll just give you this and let you go figure it out yourself. Wrong. Let's take a look at Florida. This is the top of that page in the Florida list. Now, below that, which is, when you hit the link, you'll see it based on your state, is her whole staff of about 39 people based on what you're trying to accomplish. This is actually Roz Ingram's, and her bio is right below it on the full printout. But this gives you everything you need to know about her, how you contact her, everything. But wait, there's more. These are all the programs. This is just Florida. I imagine they're probably all pretty much the same. These are all the different programs that Florida offers. Now, when you get your slides, these are hot links. You'll be able to click and go. Pretty cool. If you're interested in expanding your business into areas, federal and state government alone, that actually pay their bills on time. Yes, if they don't pay it on time, Treasury will automatically add interest to your payment, so you don't have to worry about chasing down finance charges. Pretty cool thing. How does it work? Well, let's take a look at the other side if you decided to get a GSA contract. Now, you can look on my website, MarketUS.com. It'll be in the final slide. It's all over the place, the barcode, the QR code, everything. With a GSA contract, you are welcomed into the state contract arena usually with coffee and donuts. Because if it's good enough for the feds, it's good enough for the state, local, university, all of those other government entities working their way down. This program was changed a few years ago to allow states to be able to use the actual terms and conditions of a GSA contract. Now, according to a true story, I got to take you back to 1986, 87. First phone call I made, August 12th, 1986, was to a little guy in Austin, Texas named Michael Dell. Hi, Mike, how you doing? We started talking. He flew us down, did the contract, got him his contract. A month after he got his government contract awarded, he had a state contract in Texas. He took the contract in and said, and GSA you weren't allowed to buy off of GSA as a state at this time. This is in late 80s. But they gave them a state contract. Same thing holds true in California. So that's pretty much, without reading all the text on the slide, that's pretty much what it's saying. Is that if it's good enough for the feds, it's good enough for the states. Remember that Q&A time Dave was talking about? I had to take a little takeoff on it. Anybody, can anybody identify with the top left corner? I can. We've got time. Any questions? Let me package it for you. The right, the wrong, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Did I miss anything? Right, wrong, good, bad. Yeah, I got them all. Okay, number one, you never put your product or service on someone else's contract. If I have a contract and you're selling widgets, solid gold widgets, and they sell for $1,000 a piece, and I'm going to put them on, you want to put them on my contract, and then I suddenly want to offer it to the government, I can't offer it, and I won't offer it at $1,000 a piece. You're going to have to discount that to me 15 to 30% so that I make money for you to make money to put that on the contract, because then they just order it. They can't order it from you because it's not your contract. They're going to order it from me, but I expect to make what's called a pass-through percentage, management fee, if you will. Don't do it. Do it yourself. 2 ways of doing it. Now, just want to give you my official disclaimer, because this guy over here is always trying to trap me just for grins and giggles. I left out the third word. This can't be commercial. So all I can tell you is there's 2 ways of doing it. Do it yourself or hire somebody to help you do it. Do you do your own taxes? Well, obviously we're not going to do this ourselves. Do you represent yourself in court? I'm guessing no. And you understand. So hire a professional, but there is a middle ground somewhere that we can talk about after this presentation. It'll take 5 minutes for you to understand exactly what your options are. Any other questions? You had one, sir. Please tell me you didn't Google that.
No.
Good. Because whoever told you that, I'll let you finish the sentence. Okay? Number one, there is no minimum revenue. I've had companies come to me over 35 years that have been in business 1 day. 0 revenue. However, they brought the past performance from where they were into what we're doing. Okay? That's fine. As far as the codes, they're called NAICS codes. Used to be called SIC codes, Standard Industry Classification. We went to NAICS, North American Industry Classification codes. What is your primary, let's say you're doing computer programming that's a 54123, okay? That's got to definitely be in there because that's your main core business. That's the good news. The stupid news, and I emphasize the word stupid news because I see it all the time. When you register your company on SAM, System for Award Management, sam.gov, for anybody who wants to look it up. And you can also find videos on it and everything on our website, which you'll see at the end. Actually, just look at the logo and put a .com on it. I suggest that anything that you do now, have done, or plan on doing that's kind of augments each one, put all those NAICS codes in your registration. When it comes to doing the GSA application, there is no revenue minimum for you. The revenue is in sales. You must generate a minimum of $25,000 in sales in your first 2 years. After that, it's $25,000 for every year after that. So you got 75 and 25 over 5 years, $100,000. Quick story. Michael Dell had done $72,000 in 1985. I met him in 86. $72,000 total revenue. Now, you look at him now and you go, how in the hell did he live? Well, he was living in a college dorm, got thrown out. You know the rest of that story. We did his contract. We had to do him every year back in the 80s. His first year on contract, he did $6.2 million with no salespeople. selling $13.95 computers against IBM selling $42.95 computers. Following year, 13.9. So we didn't have NAICS codes. We didn't have the internet. I mean, this was all done with, if you were lucky enough to be able to spend the money for a fax machine, you were doing great. That's pretty much the way GSA started working, was with fax machines. Did I miss any part of your question? GSA is based on what you do commercially. What is your core methodology? What is your core product, your core service? That's what you're offering the government. And they get into as far as the onboarding process, for almost 35 years, we did the onboarding process for you back and forth, and you would do the questionnaires. Finally, a couple years ago, I decided, let's make these fillable forms that you can do from anywhere, phone, tablet, whatever, and furnish the information. And then I got thinking, wait a minute, I got 18 people out there hammering me back and forth with questionnaires that are being filled out. Why not just make it a learning management system? So we rolled that out, I think it was June 1st, we rolled it out. So even whether we have somebody come full service and do everything for them, you still have to do the learning management system, which we refined into an LMS rather than just a bunch of links for forms you filled out. So we can talk about that afterward. But it was interesting. I walked around here earlier today around noon, just before noon, and I saw a guy that was standing out there, and I didn't even hear what he was what the name was, but I heard what he was talking about. CMMC, if any of you are familiar with the new cyber attacks and all. This is the certification and the actual true certification that, you're not using, Chinese communications products and other stuff that's been deemed to be volatile or, hackable. Of course, if it's got a 1 and a 0, it's hackable. Who said that earlier today? Oh yeah, it was him. If it's a 1 or a 0, it can be hacked. But if you've got certification, I don't know much about it. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to sit down with the folks. But I was getting ready to do a webinar on CMMC and couldn't get the right information. Now I have the right information. Yes, sir. Excellent question. The number's wrong.
But we need to make this the last question of the public session.
Okay. GSA is multiple award schedule. Multiple award. That means AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all those folks all have a contract. The base contract's 5 years. There's 3 follow-ons to give you a total of 20 years to answer your 10-year question. Take a picture of that if you want, that's fine, but here comes the money shot.
Boom!
Who's your daddy? All the phones just jumped up. That's contact info.
I think you can get the contact info from that.
Scan the code, you'll get the contact info.
So, what exactly does MarketUS do? Help us connect with opportunities.
Right. Now, you want all the handouts from today? Scan your heart out.
You're the man with the courage right there, Michael.
Yeah, look how hard I'm working.
So while you're looking at that and taking pictures, I want you to multitask and give a big open source world thank you to Michael Price.
Thank you, folks.
And if you'd like to speak with Michael, then...
Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon.